afternoon. Welcome to IJK News Talk Network. I am Buford Hunt, providing you with today's top stories. Today's top stories are the New York City blackout, the strong earthquake shaking Nicaragua, OPEC raising oil prices, the unfortunate Marshall plane crash, and the ending of the Vietnam War. First off, over to Taryn Tucker with the NYC blackout.
Thank you, Buford Hunt. July 13th, 1977, New York City saw a 24-hour blackout. A Con Ed substation was hit by lightning 4 times, causing the whole system to shut down around 9 p.m. Subways stopped running and taxis were very rare. Thousands of people were walking and running in the street in frustration, wondering what was going on. Police had to direct traffic and pedestrians from every single street corner. This turned into a very violent day. Stores were looted, ransacked, and destroyed. Buildings were set ablaze, and police stood there helpless, not knowing what to do. 50 cars were stolen from one dealership. 3,776 arrests were made, and 1,037 fires burned throughout the city. The damage costs were over $1 billion. Thank you for this report. Back to you, Buford Hunt.
Shocking. For our next story, we have Vincent Babel with the very unfortunate Marshall plane crash. Over to you, Vincent.
On November 14th, 1970, in Huntington, West Virginia, a plane crashed carrying 37 Marshall football players, 5 coaches, 7 staff members, 5 crew members, and 21 supporters crashed down and exploded. All the members of the flight died and all the bodies were found charred, some beyond recognition. 6 members of the team were so burned and beaten up that they could not be identified by their families and were buried beside each other. The Marshall crash was the worst domestic air crash that the year and the worst crash in West Virginia history. People in the surrounding area said the only thing they heard was a loud thud. The recognizable pieces of the plane were the 2 engines and the right wing. However, the reason for the crash is still unknown today.
That is just terrible. Now, we'll be right back after these messages from our sponsors. You guys, my hair's flat.
Me too.
Breaking news. On December 23rd, 1973, a 2.6 magnitude earthquake hit Managua around midnight. The earthquake lasted about 2 hours, causing them to lose electricity. 2/3 of Managua's population was wiped out. 10,000 were killed, 20,000 were injured, and 250,000 were left homeless. The dry season winds readied the city for fire. Tremor touched it off with broken pilot lights and gas lines and severed electrical cables. 80% of the city's buildings were flattened, along with 2 of the city's 3 main hospitals. The damage costs were over $120 million. What a heinous tragedy. Now, we have Taryn Tucker on the front lines of the Vietnam War.
Thanks, Buford. We are here in Vietnam. In 1969, the Vietnam War started and continued on to the 1970s. The war finally ended in 1975 when Nixon decided to pull the troops out of the war. 2 million Americans served in the war. Overall, it cost the U.S. $200 billion for war supplies. April 30th, 1975 was when the last Americans were departed from Saigon. Later that day, President Min broadcasted a message of unconditional surrender. The war was over. This war is now known as the Second Indochina War. Thank you. Back to you, Buford.
Thanks, Tuck. We'll return after these short messages. You guys, my hair's flat.
Me too.
Hey, I have an idea. Break! Ready? essences, body envy volumizing mousse. Welcome back. Now, straight over to Vincent Babel with the OPEC oil price explosion.
Thank you, Buford. In 1973, OPEC, Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, decided to raise the oil prices from $1.50 a barrel to $11.56 in a few short months. Saudi Arabia played a large part in this quadrupling of the oil prices. This halted the supplies in the Western countries, which caused severe oil shortages. The war in the Middle East had a drastic effect on the price of oil. Oil was coming out of an era where the U.S. controlled the supply and the price of entering an era of OPEC was in control. They raised their prices eventually over 70% from their previous price of $1.50.
Thanks, Vinny. Thanks for watching our show. This is Buford Hunt reporting your dire news needs. Join us next time on IJK News Talk Network. Thank you. That's a wrap, guys. Over there. 1, 2, 3. Afro!
On November 14th, 1917, Thank you, Buford. In 1973, OPEC, Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, decided to raise the oil prices from $1.50 a barrel to $11.56, only over a few short months. Saudi Arabia played a large part
Did you not get me allowed in this front?
Thank you, Buford. OPEC.
Yeah, are you gonna put that on your project for real?
Yeah.
Promise?
Yeah.
Here you go.
Thank you.
That was a lot of fun.